Hello, world. It's Dr. Deborah Thompson here from One Health Lessons. It's a pleasure to introduce all of you to Mr. Mohan Manthiry. He is calling in from Malaysia, and he is the founder of InfoMed magazine. Thank you so much, Mr. Manthiry, for joining us.
Good morning, Dr. Thompson. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning for this webinar.
Thank you. Good evening to you. We are calling from across the world right now.
It's going to be very soon morning here.
Right? Well, thank you very much for staying up late at night for this. So I wanted to make sure that everybody is aware of what InfoMed is, and I wanted to allow you to introduce it to everybody.
Sure. Thank you so much. InfoMed is actually a professional healthcare magazine, which I founded about 10 years back. The intention was to develop this magazine into a leading independent source of news on all aspects of healthcare for the industry, for the professionals, and for the public. The objective of this magazine is actually to bring forward this concept of every individual should start taking charge of their own health, to create this awareness, because I strongly feel that the only way for us to resolve a lot of the issues which we face in healthcare, especially in terms of the public health, in terms of the cost which is escalating, is to get the individuals to be in charge of their health so that they better manage, focus more on prevention and wellness. Now, this means you need a lot of education because you want to go back to education, just like exactly like what you are doing under One Health. So that was the primary reason I started this magazine, and we have grown very well. We have been well received by the professionals in the industry, because we reach out to all the medical professionals, plus policymakers, and increasingly to the public. So we bring forward evidence-based news on healthcare. What is the latest findings in healthcare? We focus a lot on technology. We focus a lot on issues like, for example, quality in health. We talk a lot about the primary care issues in healthcare, non-communicable disease, which constitutes about 70% of the world's budget, and it's a huge problem. So we focus on all these issues.
It's fascinating. And when I first heard about InfoMed, I was very impressed, because what you're doing there and trying to communicate with healthcare workers, of course, but also the public, and then also bringing in people who have experience in policy, it's a very wide audience, and that can get very tricky.
Yes, I agree totally. I was in a dilemma when I started this, because I spoke to a lot of the professionals in the industry. They say there is a vacuum for such a magazine, even for professionals, because doctors being doctors, whether they're in the public or private, they're very busy with their works routinely. So they're not able to update on all issues in healthcare. Probably they're very focused in their specialty. But what about other issues, medical errors, medical legal issues, which is outside the area? They may not have the time. So I provide that forum magazine as a way to reach out to them, to bring them what's happening around the world. So I do this reading, I talk to people, I get international contributors to support, to bring forward this kind of information to the professionals. Whereas the public is just more of reaching out to them to change their mind, which is very difficult, especially in healthcare. This is what I've experienced over the 10 years, because when they are healthy, when they are young, they don't really care too much about their health until things get a bit too late. So I believe by going back to education, by bringing this awareness, will be the right way we can reach out. But this is something long term, so you don't see the impact immediately. But I think we need a long term solution, because a lot of the solutions now I find is all short term. So I believe education will be the one that will eventually reach out to them, and it will be something sustainable at the same time, and it's very cost effective. It doesn't cost very much to educate the public, you know.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Education leads to sustainability, right? And so with InfoMed, this has been going on for just under, no, above over 9 years. Is that right?
Over 9 years, yes.
So
True.
what's your background? How did you create InfoMed? What was was there a certain light bulb that went over your head and was like, okay, this needs to be done, so I'll just do it? What's your story?
I used to be working for the Ministry of Health Malaysia as an administrator, and my background in education, I did my master's in US in hospital and health administration. That was the turning point, really, because after that program, 2 years in US, I decided that I would want to focus my career in healthcare. So I decided that I should leave the Ministry of Health as an administrator and focus more on healthcare, which I believe I can bring to the society. So I left the service after 4 years of contract, and I started a lot of projects in healthcare. Nothing outside healthcare. I did telemedicine projects, ICT projects. I also indulged a little bit in medical tourism. So I started working closely with I was working with the public hospitals when I was in the Ministry of Health. So when I left, now I have this the other group, the sector which I'm more involved, the private sector. So I have the best of both worlds, and there's when I realized that there is a need for a medium. Like in US, you have so many magazines and media for healthcare, very advanced, even Europe, you find that. In Malaysia, we still do not have, we have some magazines, but nothing really professional. So I decided that there's something, although that wasn't my background, although I did my master's in healthcare, my basic degrees in mathematics, and I've never done journalism or anything on communication. But I thought, well, with the background I have over the years, I should be able to survive. So it was tough. I can tell you, very tough. I didn't realize running a magazine is easy, and especially a healthcare magazine, because it's very difficult to sell. So I decided from day one, it should be a free magazine. That's the only way I can reach out, because the whole objective is how I can reach out to the most number of people. So if I'm going to put a price to it, then probably if I'm only able to sell 100, 200 or 1,000 magazines, the amount of effort that goes in is not worth it. So I decided I should do it free and depend on adverts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the story, and it's been a tough going journey actually. Yes, but not given up. I used to publish it in a print version and an online version, and COVID came last year and decided that it is tough to continue publishing the hard copies, so decided to go fully digital. So now from last year, we are almost now 1 year fully digital.
Well, and it's all written in English, or is there a part of it that's in Malay?
It's all in English, yeah.
Okay, so it's accessible around the world then?
Around the world, yes.
And how does somebody subscribe to it? How does somebody have access to this?
So what I have is the platform which I've developed over the last few months. So the magazines are now all hosted in this platform at infomed.com.my, and it's all free. So anyone just need to sign up with their email, and they have access to all the news and the magazines.
Great.
From day one. Yeah.
Great. So it's infomed.com.my, M-Y,
yes.
Correct?
Yes, that's right.
Great. And then how often do you post or publish a new journal?
I start off publishing the magazines every quarter, and it's still the same every 3 months. But now with this new portal, what I have done is I have now avenues for posting articles on the portal itself on a daily basis. So that's what we are trying to do now. The magazine is still 3 months once, but I have now pages for topics on different areas of healthcare, on reports, on videos, and events, healthcare events around the world, because InfoMed has been a media partner for a lot of the healthcare events in Malaysia and around the region. So I support a lot of these healthcare conferences and forums.
Wonderful, wonderful. So if somebody wants to write, say like a One Health article, for instance, or it doesn't have to be necessarily coming from a typical One Health perspective, and then what is typical perspective? Things like using technology to further the development of detection of certain viruses, for instance, and how that can play into human health and animal health, or keep going. So if somebody was interested in writing these types of articles, are there certain formats that are there certain limitations that you want everybody to know? And also, is there a certain process that they could submit their articles to you? I imagine that this is free of charge for both the author, because the application is free for the users.
Yes, it's very simple. We just need to go to the website, and then they can send us inquiry. There's a form to fill up, and let us know what is the topic they're interested to publish, and we will, most of the time we will look at it, because we need to know that it interests our readers. It is something interesting, something beneficial, not too much promotional about your products or services. We would definitely accept, and it'll be published.
Wonderful. And I think that this is a fantastic way for scientists, engineers, technologists, whoever it is with a particular niche knowledge, to share their knowledge with the public, as well as other healthcare providers, but particularly the public. That is so important.
And that's basically the objective of InfoMed, to reach out to the most number of people we could, and also to publish articles which will benefit them eventually. So we really welcome contributors of articles in healthcare.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. There's plenty of journals that are meant for other scientists to read, but there are not enough magazines, journals, however you want to call them, for the general public to better understand science and engineering and technology.
True, very true. Something that's evidence-based, something which is reliable, something which they can fall on when they need certain information. Like, for example, now there's a lot of news about vaccination and about COVID, too much of information. So we need to digest sometimes and present to the public. So, there is a forum or an avenue for them to reach out to find the right information.
Absolutely. That is so important. Well, I'm just curious. So coming from the hospital administrator background, you've gotten this wonderful magazine out there, and we found each other. I can't remember how we found each other, but we found each other. And I was wondering how you became interested in One Health, just seeing how all of the health.
Very interesting, because see, I'm always looking at ways how to reach out to more people. So I do work with the universities here, especially with the medical schools, pharmacies, dentists, to support them, because the students, they do a lot of campaigns for the public education. Like, I did work with them on diabetes, on smoking. This 2 months time, I'm working on them on kidney failures. So I support, as a media, I think I have the responsibility to support them. because they're putting in so much of effort and they are very young and they're willing to do that. I think it is a good opportunity because that's what we want to do. We want to create that awareness. While this was happening, then one of your intern from Indonesia, she sent me an email one day, and I saw it and thought, wow, this is something very good. Now outside Malaysia, I'm already doing it in Malaysia. This is an opportunity for me to reach out to to the rest of the world, And then I read about One Health and the great work you are doing, how you are reaching out, and then your concept of bringing is health is just not the humans, but it's also the environment, it's also the animals, which is one community which we can live together, and especially focusing on prevention and wellness. So it jives very well with what I want to do. So why not? This is a fantastic collaboration, and I would love to support what you are doing under your banner.
Well, really appreciate that. And well done, Angel. If you were listening, well done, Angel. Angel was a One Health intern in 2021, and she's actually a dental student in Indonesia. Yeah, that's a wonderful connection. Yeah, I tried to teach the interns the importance of networking, communication.
Yes.
So that was just one example of wonderful networking opportunity.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
wonderful. Well, I'm so happy to be involved in InfoMed. I think that it's a really substantial and sustainable project that will be changing many lives and has already changed lives just by the sheer importance of educating the public. That is so important.
True. In fact, I'll be starting to collaborate with one of the big insurers in Malaysia to provide content for their application, a new application which they've developed, reach out to all their consumers. I think they have probably more than 1 million consumers who have purchased their healthcare policies. Now, insurers definitely would want the policyholders to be healthy so that reduce the claims, so the premium doesn't go up. So InfoMed, they have chosen InfoMed to be the content provider for this. So it's on a weekly basis. Yes.
Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you. Yes.
Wonderful.
So we are going places. Yes.
Oh, I love it. And before we know it, everybody around the world will know about InfoMed because it's what's needed. So I hope that this webinar has been a platform for more people to know about InfoMed magazine, but also sign up for it because it's a wealth of information. And then also, if there are people who are interested in publishing material that is of high quality, that's evidence-based, look at what's been published in InfoMed, see if it's the right style for what you want to do, and then contact infomed.com.my. So
Yes.
Yeah. So going forward, do you have any words of wisdom for people who want to reach out and explore opportunities outside of their typical set niche field? Because it sounds like you went from the hospital administrator and then now you're doing this. What words of wisdom do you have for people who are just questioning if this is a right path for them, just tiptoeing outside of their comfort zone?
I think to me, if you want to excel in something, you first must have the passion for it. You must believe in it. You must have the passion for it, and you must drive it personally. I went full ahead with what I'm doing because I believe so much in it, and being involved in it for so many years, over the last 30 years, I strongly believe in prevention, wellness, education. Because when I started this InfoMed 10 years back, if you look at all the websites where you register, they give you all the different sectors. You will never find healthcare. You have all the different areas, but healthcare is always missing. So the importance given to healthcare has been not enough, and now I think COVID has very clearly uh, come to the to our attention that how important healthcare is, how much we need to spend to manage this virus, and it could be easily managed if we had taken care of ourselves, if our immune system is very good, if our environment, if we manage the animals better, we value them, if we can live together as an a good community with the environment and the animals, I think we would have done much better than this. Even now with COVID, most of the problems you see why is lack of education, because very simple way of overcoming this pandemic is to follow the standard operating procedures. Wear the mask, keep your distance, stay at home. That is the biggest challenge. People just don't want to follow this. That's where we saw all the spikes, and it's still happening. People don't learn from this. Otherwise, we could have easily overcome this pandemic much easier. So I think basically, if someone wants to indulge themselves in something, they first must have the passion for it. They must believe in it, and they want to deliver, achieve something through it.
Right. Right. I think you nailed it. I think passion will get you through a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope all of our listeners have learned a lot. I'm sure.
I hope so. And thank you so much, Dr. Thompson, for
First,
having me. It has
well,
been a pleasure, actually.
it's
And
been
we look forward to doing a lot of work together, definitely.
looking
Yes.
forward to it. I'm sure that you'll be getting plenty of people reaching out to you with some ideas for articles. So I think that would be wonderful. Okay, everybody, onwards and upwards. I'll see you next time.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.